Welcome to the Thought Boss Coaching private podcast. This is where you learn all about anxiety and how to manage it. Listen, I just want to tell you I love you. I think you're doing a great job being a human. And being a human who has anxiety is actually just being a human. Somebody who's willing to admit that they're a human, and sometimes their thoughts maybe get the best of them. I just want you to know that you're completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you, and you are perfectly lovable exactly as you are, even if you never addressed your anxiety. So coming into that, we are at episode 10, and today I really want to help you overcome your fear of what other people think about you. Now, I'm thinking about a specific client I had one time who was very afraid of her sister-in-law. Now, we talked a little bit about this in the Friends podcast, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. So anytime that my client was around her sister-in-law, which was actually often, very often, because for some time she lived with her sister-in-law. Hi, friend, if you're out there, I'm not trying to talk about you. I am grateful for you and everything that we learned together. And maybe this will continue to help you as we remember all the things that we learned about anxiety. So this client specifically was always worried about what her sister-in-law was thinking of her. Her sister-in-law was very different than her. She had a very different personality than my client. My client was a little more quiet, a little more reserved, just like gentler, had different interests, different thoughts about the way things should be. Just was different in general. And I wanted to assure my client there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You guys are different. And that's all. But what tends to happen when we are different from somebody who our brain sees as somebody in a position of power, somebody who's kind of popular maybe, or they have a lot of money, or they have a lot of influence, if we are different than them, it feels dangerous to us because they're the one who's in charge according to our brain. And they are probably right according to our brain. Our brain thinks that the person in charge has all the correct opinions, and we should just do whatever they say. We should be like them. We should think like them. We should have the same opinions as them. And the truth is we're allowed to have totally different opinions. And the person who's popular is not necessarily the one who is right. In fact, you guys can both be right. You guys can both have your opinions. So here's part one of handling your anxiety around this person. The whole podcast is going to have part two too, but this is part one, is you need to be there for your body. Okay. First, we're going to talk about your body. Your body is the thing where you feel the actual anxiety. Now, you're going to have to notice where you feel the anxiety, because that's the part of your body that I want you to put your hand on. Most of the time, it's your gut, it's your chest, maybe it's your hands, maybe they shake. I want you to pay attention to your anxiety. Now, it's not going to hurt you to give some attention to your anxiety. We're just trying to get to know it a little bit. It actually might help it go away a little bit if we just stop and notice it from a place of not having to judge it and just being really curious about how does anxiety show up in my body. So I want you to imagine maybe you're at the dinner table and you're at some kind of dinner with, maybe you've invited them, maybe you've been invited, with somebody that makes you feel anxious or somebody that you find intimidating. It's basically the same thing. When you're feeling intimidated, it's very, very similar to feeling anxiety. In fact, it's probably pretty much the same thing. So you can do this very covertly, but you're going to notice you're a little bit tense. So maybe they're passing the mashed potatoes and you are kind of on edge. You're thinking, do I say something? Do I not say something? Does she like my outfit? Did I wear the wrong thing? Oh, did I say the wrong thing? Your brain is going to be analyzing her every move, trying to figure out what she's thinking and if she approves of you. And anytime you get any kind of a sideways glance or something that doesn't look like approval, your brain is going to freak out. Does this sound familiar? Yes, I know it does. We're going to get out of the thoughts for a second and we're going to tune into your body, because your body needs to be taken care of. So we're going to put your hand on your chest. That's a great place to put it, or just like slyly slide it onto your stomach, okay? A lot of times you can feel anxiety in your stomach. It feels like you're sick to your stomach. So we're going to let ourselves feel this way. We're going to recognize this is totally normal, and I'm going to let myself feel anxiety. So tune into your body and ask yourself, what does it feel like in my stomach? Is it squeezing? Is it painful? Do I feel like a sharp pain, or is it a dull pain? The more specific that we get about how anxiety feels, the easier it is to overcome it, because we recognize, oh, this is just like sensations happening in my body. After you've noticed what's going on in your stomach, maybe you want to go up to your chest. Maybe you feel like maybe it's like a little bit tight. Maybe it feels like it's being squeezed. Maybe you feel like you can't quite get a good breath. Any of these things are completely valid. I don't want you to overthink what's happening in your body. I just want you to assume the first descriptive words that come to my mind are probably accurate. And we're just going to go with that. If it feels tight, it feels tight. If it feels like the color purple, feels like the color purple. You are the expert on your own body and your own feelings, so you get to describe them however you want to. You can even make up words. It feels squidgy. It feels fludgingly. Whatever it is, you're allowed to describe it. So describe it, and then just notice it. And then offer your body some oxygen. And specifically send that oxygen to that part of your body that is feeling extra nervous and extra anxious. Now, you're going to start feeling a little bit of relief, which is really nice because we want to feel relief, right? And once your body feels relief, once you have offered your body a safe place, which, by the way, is just your hand. Your hand is like this beautiful symbol of you saying to your body, don't worry, you're safe. I've got you. I'm going to protect you. And like, you can just feel however you're feeling. So now once we've kind of calmed down our body, even if we've taken it from a 10 to an 8, it's working. And you recognize, oh, wow, I actually do have power over how intense I feel something. And the best way to feel something less intense is to actually give it attention and not tell it to go away. So now we're going to go to our mind. What are our thoughts about this sister-in-law, about this intimidating person? Probably something along the lines of, what do they think of me? What do they think of my words? What do they think of how I look? How are they judging me? And really, this is just you judging yourself. We don't know what they are thinking. And even if they had negative thoughts about you, those thoughts aren't actually about you. Those thoughts are about that person. They don't have an accurate view of who you are. So if you're worried that they're thinking, oh, she's underdressed for this occasion and she should be dressed differently, I just want you to turn that around and recognize, okay, actually the thought I'm having is, I'm underdressed. I should have dressed differently for this occasion. So notice the judgment that you think that they're having of you, and then just ask yourself, am I actually thinking that about myself? And really answer that honestly. If the answer is no, then you can be like, okay, perfect. My thoughts are more important than this person's thoughts. It's safe for me to have different thoughts than them. It's safe for us to have different opinions about how people should dress when they go to dinner. It's totally fine for them to think I'm overdressed if they do, or if they think I'm underdressed, totally fine. They can have that opinion. But my opinion of me is that I'm just dressed exactly how I should be. I like what I wore today, and I'm good with who I am and who I'm being and what I'm saying and how I'm showing up today. Now, the second option is you might be like, yeah, I actually do feel really underdressed. And then you can ask yourself, instead of just worrying about it, you can ask yourself, okay, well, what do you want to do about that? And the answer might be, I want to go change my clothes. And the answer might be, I can't change my clothes right now. And so I'm just going to be really nice to myself. And next time, I think maybe I'll choose something different. What would I want to wear next time? And then you choose what you're going to wear next time instead. Now make sure we're not picking based on somebody's going to like me better, but based on this is what I would like to wear instead, because maybe I dressed for someone else today instead of dressing for me. Maybe I don't feel like I dressed my best and I really like to show up as my best. This is just based on personal preference. What do I feel like is more me? Now, this goes with the things that we're saying as well as the things that we're doing and the way that we're dressed. So it's okay if we don't like what we're doing, but just know, like, I get to choose what I do. And so next time I can choose different, or I could just go choose different right now. Next, we have to ask, okay, what else am I thinking? What might they be thinking of me? I have to say something really smart, or I have to say something that's going to impress them, or something that they're going to like. I have to agree with them. Okay, now we're going to notice our thoughts again, and we're going to ask ourselves, is that really true? Or is it possible that I could just be me, and I would be perfectly safe being me, and I approve of myself? I accept who I am. I totally understand if you get anxiety around people and they feel really intimidating at maybe like a dinner or something. You might even think like that your spouse like agrees with what this person might think. And I feel like the most important work that we can do is decide to accept who we are regardless of who approves of us, even if it's our spouse or our mom or our best friend. We can just decide it's okay if somebody didn't like me or didn't like my clothes or what I say, but I'm going to have my own back. This doesn't mean that we think we're perfect. This doesn't mean that we think that we're conceited and we think we're just nailing everything all the time. This means that instead of criticizing myself, I will change what I want to change, and I will love what is already there. It's such a better approach to changing yourself or to improving than just constantly criticizing yourself, because you'll never get out of that. So approve of yourself first and then change from a place of approval. All right, what else do we need to address when it comes to this dinner or this intimidating person? Oh, I know. It's all those thoughts that we have when we get home or when they finally leave. I know you're going to be thinking, I did something wrong. There's something wrong with me. Why did I say that? That was so dumb. I have this experience where I went to dinner. We were on a cruise, and we happened to be with a bunch of people from my husband's work. I was embarrassed about this for a long time because my husband was embarrassed about it. We were having dinner with a lot of the people from his work, and I happened to be sitting right next to one of the guys who was kind of in charge of things. I had just started my life coaching business, and I was pitching myself to him essentially because I knew that he had decision-making power. And I just told him, I'm a great life coach. I would love to work with your guys. He didn't respond. He wasn't interested. It was kind of embarrassing because I felt a little bit shot down. But my husband was the one who felt even more embarrassed. And so after that, I thought, I'm never putting myself out there in front of my husband again. I don't want to embarrass him. Now, here's how I got over that, because I truly love and respect my husband, and I honor his feelings, and I recognize that he was embarrassed. Here's what I first had to tell myself. It's okay that he was embarrassed. His embarrassment was not about me. It was about him. And then I had to ask myself, if I had a good opinion of myself, what would I think of this interaction? And I decided if I wasn't criticizing myself, like, how could I actually praise myself for this situation? And what I found was I was actually really brave, and I reached out and I approached somebody about this opportunity, and they totally said no, but I was really proud of myself for seeing the opportunity and for taking it, because that's something that a lot of people don't do. And we know that you have to fail before you succeed. And now looking back at it, I recognize sometimes the best opportunities come from situations where you had to feel a little bit embarrassed or you had to put yourself out there, and that's okay. Like, I'm really glad that I did. I put myself out there, and I'm so proud of myself, even if it didn't work out. So when it comes to these situations, you get to decide to be proud of yourself. You get to decide to be kind to yourself, regardless of what you think anybody else is thinking, even if it's somebody very important to you. So after this whole thing is over and you're thinking, I shouldn't have said that, or I'm the worst, why did I do that? I was such an idiot. Instead of letting yourself criticize you, You tell yourself, here's what you did right tonight. I loved how you did this. I loved how you did this. Is there anything you would want to change about your approach that was actually something that wasn't true to who you actually are? That's my only measurement for what should I do. I should do the thing that is most true to who I am instead of trying to do something to please other people. So that would be my advice on that conversation that you have with yourself or somebody else after you've had an interaction with this. All right, I hope this was helpful. Sorry it was a little bit longer, but I felt like it was really important.